a nobody here, and I am beyond excited because after 5 years, my husband and I are finally flying back to Japan. And as an added bonus, we'll also be staying in South Korea for our layover. We will be staying in South Korea for around 3 days and Japan for just over 2 weeks. However, I plan to pack just the bare essentials for my trip because I want to bring back as many souvenirs as physically possible. Therefore, I'm here to give you my top 5 essentials that you need to pack for a trip to Japan and South Korea. Now, the list isn't going to include obvious essentials like toothbrushes, underwear, and clothes, but for a trip this long, I'm gonna pack a variety of t-shirts, dresses, and shorts because the weather is going to be hot as we are visiting in August. So let's start with my first essential, number 1, a lightweight suitcase. If you're planning to stay in one area, for example, if you're just staying in Tokyo, then this might not be an essential for you, but we are planning to travel across Japan. We are starting our Japan trip in Osaka, and then we plan to travel to Mount Fuji and work our way up to Tokyo. Therefore, a light suitcase is a necessity. Reason being, we were having to lug our suitcases up and over stairs as we were trying to navigate the different metro systems. We are also planning to catch the Shinkansen, which is the high-speed bullet train. Therefore, a lightweight suitcase is essential as it just makes the trip a whole lot easier. I brought my particular suitcase from Amazon. It also looks really cute, so I will link this down in the description below. It's going to work perfect for our trip. My second essential is shoes. Look, it's just a fact, you are going to be walking a lot during this holiday. You want to take in all the sights, therefore you are going to need comfortable shoes. You want something that aren't going to hurt your feet, that aren't going to rub. I plan to take 2 pairs of trainers. I'm bringing my Converses and my Reeboks and a sandal Doc Martens as well. These shoes are really easy to dress up and dress down, and that's exactly what you want to have for a trip this long. My only issue at the moment is where these are new shoes, I am still having to break them in, so a little bonus essential that you might want to consider is blister plasters because you're probably going to need them at one point. Number 3, a medium-sized bag and a wallet or purse. Considering Japan is one of the cleanest places I think I've ever been to, it's actually really hard to find public bins. This actually means that any rubbish that you create, you are going to have to keep with you and dispose of it once you get back to your hotel. Therefore, you're going to want a medium-sized bag so that you can actually put your rubbish and keep it in there, but obviously you're going to be carrying other things such as your cameras and phones and so on. I finally gave into the trend. I got the viral Uniqlo bag. You know what? It actually lives up to the hype. It carries everything. It carries my phone, my headphones, my blood tests, my injections, and I have a feeling you're probably not going to be carrying the latter. So it's probably going to work for you. Plus it looks cute. My husband will be the pack mule of the holiday. He will be taking his backpack because he's going to have to be carrying the waters and the snacks, also all the souvenirs that I decide to buy that day. You're also going to need a purse or wallet. Despite Japan moving more towards digital payments, cash is still king. This is going to be particularly true for us. We start our journey in Osaka and it is known for street food. Those places you're definitely going to need cash with you so that you can actually purchase all the treats that you want. However, speaking of digital, that actually moves us on to number 4, which is a phone. Look, now I know it's obvious, I know you are obviously going to be taking your phone, but you are going to want to download a number of different apps to help you navigate the country. I'm assuming you're probably going to want to upload your adventures onto social media, therefore you are going to need to connect to the internet. Now, public Wi-Fi is available in Japan, but it's not always easily available. Therefore, you're going to want to have something that you can always connect to. There are 2 different options which you can consider. You can either choose a digital SIM or a pocket Wi-Fi. When we first went to Japan, we actually picked the pocket Wi-Fi route. Last time we also traveled all the way across Japan and it had full coverage across everywhere that we visited. It's really handy because one pocket Wi-Fi can connect to multiple devices, so you can connect to your phone, your iPad, your laptop without having to worry about extra roaming charges. It was really easy to order and to pick up. We just used the website Ninja Wi-Fi. Just ordered this a couple of weeks before we were set to leave, and all we had to do was pick it up from the airport and then we connected to it straight away. So the moment we landed in Japan, we were connected to the internet and therefore we could find routes to our hotel, which made traveling a lot easier as well. I will link down below Ninja Wi-Fi so that you can have a look at this as an option. option. The only downside that I would say about having the pocket Wi-Fi is that it can be a little bit expensive. You're looking at about £4 to £7 a day, depending on what package of internet that you want to have. It's another thing that you're going to have to carry around with you. You're also going to have to consider charging it. If you lose it, there is also a fine that you are going to have to pay to replace that device, and you have to connect to it using your email. And my husband ended up getting really dodgy emails the moment he signed up to this, which he is in fact still receiving today. So, you know, Susie's looking for a hot man still, apparently. So after some consideration, this time round, my husband and I decided to go the digital SIM route. For the digital SIM route, you are going to need to download an app called Airlo. You have to find your region eSIM. In this case, you are going to choose Asia. And then this gives you a number of options for data packages. We decided to go for 5 gigabytes for the 3 weeks that we are going to be out there. And this is going to cover both Korea and Japan. This is actually going to work for 30 days and it costs about $20. This is also a great option if you are a frequent flyer because it does cover a number of different countries. So if you do travel quite a lot, if you're maybe going on a long-term travel holiday, then consider downloading this app as it will give you access to the multiple different countries that you may be traveling to. Now, something that you have to consider is that this is just data, so you're still going to be using your SIM for your regular calls and texts. As well as this, it's only one device, so it does mean that my husband and I are going to have to purchase this separately, so that does mean it's going to cost us $20 each. However, we just decided to go for it because it's quick and simple. We don't have to wait at the airport when we arrive. We'll have data the moment that we set foot in the country. So once you have found your method of internet, there are some key apps that you are going to need to download while you are out on your travels. First, you need to be able to get around the cities that you are visiting. One really simple thing, good old handy Google Maps. Google Maps is great. If you don't have Google Maps, I have no idea how you have been getting around and finding your way in general life anyway. Google Maps is really good in Japan. It works across all the cities. It's also really handy. Not only does it tell you options and how to get to locations, it can also give you recommendations such as certain sites that you can go and visit and restaurants in the area that you're looking at also. However, one thing that we are going to have a problem with, which means we have to download another app, is that Google Maps does not work in South Korea. Therefore, there are 2 other apps that you might need to consider downloading. The first app is an app called Naver. This is essentially South Korea's Google. It gives you the alternative methods, so trains, subway, buses, and so that's something that you are going to need to download while you are in Korea. However, another alternative that you can download is an app called City Mapper. Now, if you have watched my channel before, you are probably very aware that I'm a big advocate of City Mapper. I use it here at home in London all the time. I've used it in countries such as Budapest and Paris, and I really love this app. It's really useful. It will work in both Tokyo and Seoul. So for me personally, I will be using City Mapper, but Google Maps will also be useful across Japan. Japanese cities are really easy to navigate on foot, but if you are staying in Tokyo, Tokyo is absolutely massive. It's one of the biggest cities in the world, therefore you are not going to be able to walk it every single day. You are going to have to get on the metro system at some point. You are going to need to consider purchasing an IC card. IC cards are the equivalent of the London Oyster card. It's a way that you can tap in and pay for different modes of transport. So the IC cards will work on buses, will work on the metro and certain train lines, and there are 2 different options that you can pick. You either have the Pasmo card or you have the Suica card. Now, one thing that you need to consider, I am filming this in the year 2023, and as of August, there are no longer any physical cards available to purchase. The only cards that are available are visiting cards, but even still there is a shortage of the chips, which means that this actually may not be an option anymore if you're watching this sometime in the future. Therefore, you are definitely going to need to download the IC cards to your phone. I will put a link down below in how to download this for both Android and iPhone. I have an iPhone, so I know how to download this. All you need to do is you need to go into your iPhone wallet, click onto travel card, options. If you scroll through, you'll be able to find Japan and you'll be able to see either the Pasmo or the Suica card option there. You then just tap this and you upload money to the card using your normal debit card. Now, if you're wondering, do I have to purchase the Pasmo or the Suica? It doesn't really look like there's a difference between them. Just pick whatever one you prefer. I went for Suica just because it's one that I used when we last visited, so I'm familiar with it. Something that is also really useful with having the IC card on your phone is that this does actually act as contactless payment in shops as well. This is useful because even though I did mention that cash is king, it does mean that you may not need to withdraw as much cash as you originally thought. You can use these cards in certain shops. You just need to look out for the signs. You can also use these on vending machines as well. One final app, I promise this is the last one. One final app that you need to consider downloading on your phone is an app called Klook. Before you actually go to Japan, you are going to want to plan out the different activities that you want to do. With this, Klook is a really useful website. It has a number of different excursions available. So if you're looking at doing the Team Labs or the Shibuya Sky, if you want to go to Nintendo World, if you want to go to Disney, this is a one-stop shop for you to purchase all of those excursions. Something else that is really great about the website is that you can actually purchase these things in a bundle and you can get up to 50% off if you purchase items through Klook. It happened to be the cheapest place that we were able to buy our JR passes, but I will get onto this later in the video. I just found this site really useful. It made planning our trip a lot easier. It also means that I don't have to worry about not being able to get into certain places and avoid disappointment when I arrive to them also. Now, the reason I'm telling you to download the app is because if you download the app, again, you actually get a further 5% discount on your first purchase. Also, it is a place to hold all of your tickets that you have purchased as well. When you arrive to the destination, click on your Klook app and your tickets are already available there. It saves having to print copies of tickets, less things to worry about, less things to carry. So those are all the various apps which I recommend you download. And you're probably thinking, oh my goodness, I'm going to be using my phone quite a lot, so something you are going to need to consider is a plug converter. I am from the UK, therefore I'm going to need a converter for both Japan and Korea. For Japan, the plug that you need are the two-pronged flat edge plugs. This is a type A and a type B plug, if you understand what that means. For South Korea, you are going to need the two-pronged round plugs. This is type C and type F. As far as I'm aware, anywhere that I have managed to travel, they never have a UK plug, so it's always useful to get a converter if you plan to travel again. I have got a multi-converter. I'm able to switch different plug settings and I don't have to keep worrying about carrying multiple different converters with me, as it's all available in one place. Alongside this, you're probably going to be using your phone quite often. I would really recommend bringing a battery pack with you also, because you're probably going to want to recharge once you are out and about. Now, that does make 5, and I'm going to give you another bonus, which is the JR Pass. So what the JR Pass is, it is the Japan Railways Pass. This allows you to board any railway that are under the JR company. Now, the reason that this is important is the JR company operate the various Shinkansens across Japan. Those are your high-speed bullet train, which get you across the country in the matter of mere hours. This was an essential for us. As mentioned, we are going to be travelling across Japan. The cheapest place that I managed to find these tickets were on the website Klook, and this was priced at £519.50 for 14 days for both my partner and I. But something that you need to be aware of is, as of October 1st, these prices are actually going to be increasing by quite a large margin. However, if you are still concerned about the price, it's still easy to get to cities in Japan via air, and sometimes it is actually the cheaper option, so do not fear, you can still go across Japan. The one thing that I will say though is, if you have never caught the Shinkansen, it is an experience in itself, and I think that this should be experienced at least once while you are there. We did this last time. We travelled from Tokyo to Hiroshima via air, and we actually made our way back by Shinkansen just because it was something that we felt we had to experience. But obviously that is up to you to decide. So there we have it. That brings me to the end of my essentials list. If you do think there is anything that I have missed out, or you would actually substitute any of my essentials, please do feel free to put those in the comments below. It's always good to start a conversation. But these are the essentials that I think I personally need. And now it should mean that I'm able to come back with all the Zelda and Sanrio and Ghibli merchandise that I can possibly dream to fit into my suitcase. I will be documenting all my adventures in Japan because you best believe I'm going to be rinsing all the content I possibly can. If you're interested in travel in general, then please do have a look at my channel as I have documented my various other adventures as well. With that, I do hope this has been helpful and I hope to see you in the future. Bye!